Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up PayHere in an Android Studio project step by step. PayHere is a Sri Lankan online payment gateway that allows businesses and developers to accept payments easily. It supports multiple payment methods, including Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Zcash, Mcash, and bank transfers. This is the first video on YouTube showing a complete working setup for PayHere in Android. There are no other tutorials available yet, so if you've been struggling to integrate PayHere into your app, this guide is for you. I'll walk you through everything from setting up a PayHere Merchant Sandbox account to writing the code and handling payments successfully. By the end of this video, you'll have a fully working PayHere integration in your Android app. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video so more people can learn how to integrate PayHere into their Android apps. Let's go. Firstly, you need to open your Android Studio to work with. Open Android Studio and create a new project or open an existing one. Before we start, make sure you have Android Studio installed. You can download it from the official website developer.android.com or watch my previous video where I show how to download and set up Android Studio step by step. If you're using the latest 2025 version, the setup process might look slightly different, but don't worry. Creating a new project in Android Studio. Now, let's start by creating a new project in Android Studio. Open Android Studio and click on New Project. Empty view activity recommended for PayHere setup. Starts with a single blank screen. Minimal setup, giving you full control over UI and logic. We can see more activity in this view like or empty activity, Gemini API Starter, basic view, bottom navigation and more. After selecting empty activity, the next page in Android Studio will show. Configure your project screen. Here, you need to set up your project details. Firstly, add name. This is your app name, for example. Application, package name. This is your app's unique identifier, for example, com.example.application. What is this package name? It is important for our project. The package name is a unique identifier for your Android app. It is used by the Android operating system to distinguish your app from others on the device. In this field, can you save your project? Save location select. Next asks you to choose a programming language for your project. You have two options. Kotlin, recommended by Google for modern Android development. Java, the traditional language for Android apps. You to choose the Minimum SDK software development kit. What is Minimum SDK? The Minimum SDK defines the oldest version of Android that your app will support. If a user's phone has an Android version lower than your selected Minimum SDK, they won't be able to install your app. Shows a percentage of supported devices on the right side of the screen. It represents the percentage of active Android devices that support your chosen Minimum SDK. The higher the percentage, the more devices your app can run on. There are two options for writing your Gradle build scripts. Groovy build.gradle, the traditional and widely used syntax. Kotlin DSL build.gradle.kts, a modern alternative using Kotlin. They recommended us Kotlin DSL. If you think you're done all set after click Finish button. OK, give permission it. Now they build it automatically, so you won't wait. After finish they all set up. You wait more time and it depend your connection speed or performance with. You can change your theme like dark or light to use. So now project created successfully and we can see like we are in Android with. Now delete this text and create our need implement. Go to value section and add button like adding type with. Now we want to add button in main XML and adding to linear layout for my UI. This button for our payment button. UI side I think okay now. Now go to main activity setup our coding part. Go to in browser for PayHere knowledge base and Android SDK they give us to adding requirements. We have to include Gradle file and other implement code have in this page. Check it. It one add in our project have Gradle scripts have lastly can find setting Gradle. You can see in my screen. In repositories field want add it. Check in your Gradle version and think with add because it give us above version 7.1, so next have below version. After sync you project and wait it finish. Next you want to go build Gradle in module app, so it want us dependencies add. Get this dependency for your project to implement. Appcom have already, and I think it not want us, you not want add it. Sync again to download this dependencies. You can see we are successfully implement this dependencies. You must select the namespace to match your project's app package name, and it must be added to the Android manifest XML file. The namespace should match your app's package name. You need to add permissions to your Android manifest.xml file because the PayHere SDK requires internet access for processing payments. Now we want try to set up sandbox and we want this code add in. This is my PayHere Sandbox testing dashboard. If you want to new one create with can do this. Remember you must add ProGuard rules to prevent the PayHere SDK classes from being obfuscated or removed during the build process. Even though the official documentation might not mention it explicitly, you must add this ProGuard rule to avoid issues with the PayHere SDK when using a release build with code obfuscation. After go to your Merchant Sandbox portal and in menu have Integrations section for Create No-Add App. Add package name to app name field. Now you want copy your merchant ID and keep. The next step is to configure your main activity to handle the payment flow. Here's a step-by-step guide on what to do in main activity. We want create final tag in private with and it want static. Text view want to create to our text to show. In this we create to our activity show in after. It like PayHere launcher adding. In the context of PayHere SDK, or any Android application, if we need to pass data between activities, for example, from one activity to another, and that data is not simple like a string or integer, then we would typically use serializable. The SDK will have predefined objects and methods for passing data and handling payment responses, so leveraging those objects will simplify your code and ensure compatibility with the SDK. If the result code is result_OK and there is data returned, it checks if the data contains a specific extraf constance, intent_extra_result. This seems to be a custom class representing a response. The code checks if the response indicates success or failure and logs a message accordingly. It also updates a text view with the result message. If the result code is result cancelled, it updates the text view to indicate that the operation was cancelled. This line finds a button in the layout file XML using its ID pay button. The findViewByte method is used to locate the ViewUI component in the current activities layout. Once found, it is assigned to the pay button variable, which allows you to interact with this button programmatically, for example, setting click listeners. Similar to the button, the findViewByte method locates the text view and assigns it to the text view variable. Now, add these lines to your activity to initiate a payment request to the PayHere payment gateway. This code sets up the payment details, including the merchant ID, currency, amount, and customer information. Make sure to replace the placeholders with your actual data. These lines set up a button so that when it is clicked, the initiate payment method is executed. The initiate payment method is where you would typically add the code to start the payment process, such as preparing the payment request and launching the payment gateway activity. Prepare and launch a payment process by creating an intent with the necessary payment details, setting the environment to sandbox mode for testing, and then starting the payment activity. The PayHere launcher is used to handle the result of the payment process once it completes. Alright, my friends, let's bring this app to life. Imagine this, you've built this amazing payment integration, and now it's time to see it in action on a real phone. Picture yourself holding your phone, ready to test it wirelessly, no cables, just pure magic. First, you'll dive into your phone's settings, tap on the build number a few times, and unlock the secret world of developer options. Then, with a flick of a switch, you enable USB debugging and wireless debugging. You can QR code connect with it or code get in with. Try it. Now, it's time to bring your project to life. Click the Run button in Android Studio, that green play icon, and watch as your project starts building. Grab a cup of coffee or take a deep breath, this might take a moment. Once the build is complete, Android Studio will automatically install the app on your phone. Keep an eye on your device. You'll see the app icon appear, and soon enough, it'll be ready to launch. Open it up, test your payment flow, and celebrate, you've just brought your hard work to life on your phone. I'm so glad to hear that you're happy with how the project turned out. It's been great working through this step by step, and it's awesome that everything's come together so well. Now that you have this solid foundation with PayHere integration, it's exciting to see you moving forward to your next projects. We are Hush Channel, and we're here to help you with your tech projects. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to help others. Your support means a lot to us, and it motivates us to keep bringing you more useful tutorials.